The Alps. An inspiration to so many, like Turner, Sargent, and Compton, to just mention a few. Their paintings have inspired me to seek out my own journey in this place. So here I am to see if I have what it takes to take on the Alps, and see how this place has changed since they painted it all those years ago. It's not an easy route to get to the glacier, and you might wonder why I'm doing this. There's a perfectly good viewing platform back at the station, with a nice terrace, and a bar with deck chairs. Why am I not just painting from there? Why climb down 350 steps down a sheer cliff to go painting? Well, firstly, these ladders are here because they're trying to keep up with the disappearing glacier. Every decade, they extend it as the ice level drops further and further away. Secondly, for me, this is all part of the painting process. I'm always curious to see what's around the corner. If that view back at the station platform that everyone else sees is the best view after all, so be it. Maybe one day I'll paint it. But for now, I need to find my own painting spot. And I believe the experience of the journey also contributes to the creative process. I don't want to stay at a safe distance from my subject. I want to explore it fully. And I feel I need to include the elements from all my senses, not just from vision. What I'm looking for is to bring more to the table in terms of creating a painting that conveys a sense of being in a place. Now those ladders were tricky, but a rock field also requires your attention. You can twist your ankle pretty easily here and smash your camera if you're not careful.
Sorry, camera.
So where exactly are we? Well, we are on the longest glacier in France, just north of the Mont Blanc. Early reports on this area in the 18th century and 19th century attracted all sorts of visitors, including painters and photographers. Turner was here, painting this same valley in the early 1800s. And however inspiring all this is, we are also reminded of how fragile this beauty is. 250 years ago, this place was a sea of ice, hence the name MER de Glace, as seen in paintings from that time. And in photos just 100 years ago, the glacier reached all the way up to the newly built train station. It's only in the past 50 years or so that this area has been changing, and changing at an alarming rate. It's an incredible feeling to be walking in the footsteps of the great painters who were here before me, inspired by the same stunning beauty. But the other incredible part, and slightly less inspiring, is the realization that just 70 years ago, where I'm walking right now, would have been impossible. There would have been solid ice rising 100 meters above me. This is within the lifetime of many people alive today. The speed of this melting is unprecedented. That is what climbing down those 350 steps make you realize.
Okay, well, doing good pace so far. We're aiming for the spot up there over the ridge, over the rocks at the end of the glacier. So this is what you got to be careful of when you're walking about. This is not going to surprise you. You're going to see this coming up on you, but certainly don't want to be caught down there.
We have to remember that a glacier is a climate indicator. They're telling us what's going on. They are the memory of the planet and life on Earth. The journey goes on, and I stay focused on my plan to paint. I put a lot of energy into the hike, but my anticipation to paint definitely helps me keep the energy needed for my next job. And as soon as I arrive, I get out my sketchbook to test all my options. There are so many to choose from, but given the time I have, I can only do one painting for now. The good weather doesn't usually last up here. As often is the case in the high mountains, things change quickly in the afternoon. And climbing up wet ladders will be too dangerous, so I need to pack up as soon as I'm finished painting. But luckily, I get back in time, so I could finally sketch that view that everyone else sees from the terrace up here. Maybe I'll be back to paint it eventually, but for now, my mind was focused on what I was planning next. To push myself a little further in this alpine adventure. In a few days, I will try and paint at twice this height